which is sponsored by Providence Holy Cross Medical Center and Comfort Keepers in Home Care. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Thomas Pilecki.
On your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And believe it or not, my co-host, Dr. Thomas Pilecki, is our guest speaker today.
Yeah, how's that happen?
Well, you have lots and lots to talk about.
I do.
Yes.
I always do. And, I started off just as a guest on this show for decades.
Long time.
And, and then Jean had some personal stuff, so I stepped up and have been trying to fill his shoes for the past couple of years. But as you said, I do have some important information to share when I'm not hosting the show, right? So,
but you're hosting and you're sharing.
Yeah,
today. You're the guest.
See how that goes.
You have to do as you're told, young man.
Yes. So I'd like to talk about a brand new 27-page report on drug and supplement interactions, because I think it's pretty relevant for
seniors.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
For actually everybody, but certainly for seniors. A few people are getting the right nutrition to begin with, right? So supplement industry is growing, but not as fast as the pharmaceutical industry. There's more and more, more and more medications out there for everything out there. And there are some interactions that people need to be aware of, because your medical doctor can't stay on top of all the different possibilities. And unfortunately, if it's a choice between your supplements and your medication, guess who wins every time? So I've created a line, and by the I'm going to make an offer for people to come in to get that kind of a consultation. Like, okay, here are the medications, here are the supplements, here's, what I'm trying to accomplish, and, guide me through this minefield, essentially. So that's going to be my offer on this show, and we're going to see. But right now, there is a brand new 27-page report exactly on that, the drug nutrient depletions, because a lot of people start off with not enough nutrition in order to stay healthy. So when they go to their doctor, their doctor isn't necessarily going to say, oh, well, change your diet in this way and take these supplements. No, they're going to say, okay, well, take this medication to treat this symptom, right? Mm-hmm. And the problem with that is that the first of all, it doesn't address the nutrient deficiency that person has, because it may not show up on a conventional blood test. Very few things do. But then you compound the problem, because almost nearly every medication has a disrupting factor on the way that you absorb and use the nutrients that you do have, either from your food or from your supplements, and it gets really complicated. But that's where someone like me comes in. So with that in mind, I've created a complete nutritional line specifically for this, and it really does help seniors. I mean, I can
attest to that. Absolutely.
So some of these things you are currently taking and have for a while, and some of them may be new to you. If you have any questions, please ask. But we've got a lot of ground to cover, so I'm going to try to make this as quick and easy and absorbable as possible. That's the concept behind my nutrition line, and hopefully this information as well. So I'm going to start off with the essentials, and hopefully we'll get through all of that, and then some niches that I think are critically important as well. But the essentials are pretty much, okay, before I go there, nutrition is a very personal thing.
Yes, it is.
There is no single one size fits all. That's why everybody can be doing a diet and losing, 20, 30 pounds, and you try it and you actually put on weight. And it's not your fault. It's because nutrition is a very personal thing, and it needs custom tailored attention in order for it to work.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now, that being said, there are some essential basics that are critically lacking from the standard American diet. Pretty much anybody listening right now needs to have these bases covered in order for them to not need medications all the time in order to, function normally. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right. So the first on my list is we call it Active 8, and it is our vitamin mineral complex, like a multivitamin. Back in the day when I first found out about nutrition 50 years ago, it was one a day. That was it. That was your choice. You had one choice, and it was one a day. And the nutrition, the supplement industry has come a long way since one a day. But that was it back then. And, it was surprising, but a nice surprise that my medical doctor back then, there was only one kind of doctor, and that was your medical doctor, recommended that, you look a little iron deficient. You need to take one a day. Right?
You look a little iron deficient.
Yeah. So
you aren't really iron deficient as a provided by tests.
yeah. Well, that's a whole nother story.
Yes,
but
that's true.
anyway, so I got on one a day, and that started, and then I got into bodybuilding, and that's a whole nother thing. All credit due. Bodybuilders are usually a couple years ahead of conventional medicine when it comes to what works and what doesn't work in nutrition, because they are their own lab rats. They are testing it out. They are doing it. They are seeing what works and what doesn't.
And what works for them may not work for somebody else.
Exactly. But anyway, so I created a whole line that is designed to actually work for the overwhelming majority of people. And in this product, this vitamin mineral supplement, while it is designed for people on the spectrum, which means like autism and Asperger's and all that, and the reason that we designed it for them is because they have a really tough time absorbing nutrition. I mean, really tough.
Really?
And that's part of the problem. So if we make something that will work for them, guess what?
It'll work for everybody.
It'll pretty much work for everybody.
Now, I don't think I take one of those, do I?
I don't know. So,
What's it called again?
It's Activate. It's the vitamin formula. And we made it in a powder form on purpose because in that spectrum, just swallowing a pill may be asking too much.
So it's different from that big container.
Yeah, we'll get to that too.
Okay.
But right now, this is our vitamin. And the reason we call it Activate is because it's all the vitamins and mineral in their activated form. Now, what does that mean? That means that vitamins come in more than one form. Every single, let's just say a vitamin is a molecule, right? And one of those molecules is going to perfectly match the receptors on your cells. It's already designed perfectly to fit right in, doesn't have to be processed in any way. It goes right to work in your body. And that, in some terms, it's called bioidentical or bioavailable. Some people are calling it something else. But the real science term for this is the vitamin is in its activated form, which means it's already good to go. It's ready to go to work in your body. And pretty much every vitamin is like that. So if you go down your vitamin list right now, if you look at your bottle of vitamins and you go down, and I always choose this one as the kind of the test. When you get down to vitamin B12, which is kind of important for your nerve system, your energy pathways, all of these things, when you get down to vitamin B12, if it says cyanocobalamin, guess what cyana stands for?
Cyanide.
Yeah, cyanide, right? What is cyanide doing in your vitamin
Whoa,
formula?
whoa.
But that is by far the most common form of B12 out there. And not to get too geeky about it, but B12 is very important in the energy pathway. The way that cyanide kills you is that it destroys the energy pathway. You literally suffocate because no matter how much oxygen you can get into your lungs, it's not enough to fuel the energy pathway anymore because cyanide has poisoned that pathway. What is that doing in vitamin B12? Is my question. And yet you see any kind of fortified cereal for your kids, you see any kind of conventional vitamin out there, it's cyanocobalamin. And every single vitamin is like that. And I'm not saying there's some kind of evil conspiracy. It's bottom line economics. The cyanocobalamin is the cheapest way to say that legally claim that you're providing vitamin B12. But it is not what your body needs in order to work right. On the other hand, methylcobalamin, which is what my vitamin B12 is in this formula, is the activated form because not only is it providing that cobalamin, which is the B12 part of the equation, it's also providing a methyl group. And a methyl group is another important part of that energy pathway. So when you give the body methylcobalamin, it really does what you think vitamin B12 is supposed to do. And it's the same on every single vitamin. Every single vitamin is like that, and a lot of the minerals are like that too. And if they're not in their activated form, your body can't use it. So why? Why would you? So bargain vitamins are no value. I mean, when you have most commercial vitamins, if you shop around and get them online or whatever, your body can't use it. So there's no point. If you pay a little bit more, this isn't like 10 times the price of regular vitamins. It's competitively priced. But your body knows what to do with this. And that's the way my whole product line has been developed. That's why I started with this, to kind of frame why, after 10 years of practice, trying to recommend people, go buy this vitamin, go buy that vitamin, I decided, well, if it's going to be done, it better be done right. So that's why we created this line.
So what is in that?
A lot. There's all the vitamins are in their activated form, the synergistic minerals to make sure that the vitamins work as good as they can in your body, and a couple other things to magnify the whole process. So the bottom line is this provides the most comprehensive bioavailable vitamin and mineral formula so the body can use it instead of just flushing it away. So it's a better value than bargain vitamins. And what that really means is better DNA production, energy, focus, memory, metabolism, mood stabilization, performance, and recovery. Because that's what you want from your vitamins.
Yeah.
And this actually does what you want your vitamins to do because your body can recognize it.
Amazing.
But as I said earlier, most seniors are taking medications to treat the symptoms of bad nutrition instead of actually taking the nutrition that is what your body really needs.
Right.
70% of seniors are diagnosed with at least one chronic illness, and many are taking at least 5 prescription medications simultaneously. So that actually multiplies the side effects and the vitamin depletion, the nutrition depletion, plus the medications disrupt your digestion, your ability to absorb nutrients, your metabolism, your detoxification processes, and your ability to excrete toxins from your body, which leads to even more serious problems over time. And as I said earlier, it's impossible for your prescribing physicians to stay on top of all the drug nutrient interactions, much less they may not even be aware of all of the prescriptions unless you're like in an HMO managed care system where you're only seeing one doctor, right? And all the information comes up on your chart immediately. A lot of people see more than one doctor. A lot of doctors don't even know all the medications that you're currently taking, even if it's in that initial intake. So the problem with that is the more medications you take, the more interactions, it's called poly, which means many, pharmacy, which means drugs, polypharmacy, things that your body has to deal with, right? So you wind up feeding the disease and not the patient. And even things as simple as Tylenol, over the counter, generally recognized as safe, can mess with your microbiome. So what's a microbiome, right? It's your good belly bugs, all the bacteria that actually do good stuff for us, that live in our digestive tract. They help us digest food. They help regulate our hormones. They produce more brain chemistry than the brain itself does. So it regulates your mood and the way your body works. It is a critically important part of your immune system and your chemical balances, your pH, all of that is mostly handled by the bacteria that live in your digestive tract.
Wow. Yeah.
Every single medication, not just antibiotics. We kind of know that antibiotics is pretty bad for the microbiome, but every single medication has a large disruptive factor on the microbiome.
Wow.
So I wish I was more involved in this process, but some brilliant people way before me beat me to the punch. I do, however, private label the original doctor recommended broad spectrum daily probiotic blend in a level that is, there's nothing out there like this. A 1 gram serving of this provides 100 billion colonized forming units. That's how you talk in how good a probiotic is. Just to compare, something like a thing of yogurt might have maybe a couple million active cultures in it. This is 100 billion of 12 of the most researched probiotic strains known to science for the past 50 years. These are the experts. That's why I didn't try to recreate the wheel on this one. I went to the best. And the only time that I will not private label something is when the people who are doing it the best won't let me private label it. And then I just say, no, I can't do better. Go buy this instead. Mm-hmm. But this one, they do let me. You cannot find it online for less than what I offer it for. And personally, I believe you're wasting your time if you're taking any other kind of probiotic.
Interesting. Well, why don't we take a break? and come back in a few minutes and continue this because I see lots of bottles,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
jars of stuff, and
We're
lots of paper.
we're
And
gonna try to get through the essentials in the next segment.
terrific. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host and guest, Dr. Thomas Pilecki, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host and guest, Dr. Thomas Pilecki, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And before we go any further, I wanted to let you know that my CAT scan came back absolutely perfect.
I love it.
No cancer, no sign of it, nothing.
I love that.
Yes, I was so excited when I heard that.
That is awesome. You are amazing, and I'm glad that I could even be part of that.
Yes, yes, you've been a big part of it, because I take a lot of your, what do you call them?
Supplements.
Supplements.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, let's-
That's what happens when you get older. You know, your mind kind of goes, ooh, see you in a little while.
Well, we can talk about that too. But right now, I want to talk about a new 27-page report that just came out about how drugs and supplements don't always play nice together. And your medical doctor may not even know. And if they are even aware of it, guess which one is going to get sacrificed? It's not the medication.
No.
So it's always going, the medication is always going to take first place about the supplements. We talked a little bit in the early segment about how, you got to the place where you needed that medication, and that is often a nutritional deficiency. So not only is the medicine maybe absolutely necessary, but not going to address the nutritional problem that started the process in the beginning.
Well, can I say something?
Yeah.
I've been taking your supplements for a long time, and I've gone through 2 cancer surges, and I think they have helped me recover.
Well, I hope
Because
so.
I didn't take any others other than yours that you had recommended.
Yeah.
And I've seen you for I don't know how many years. I think probably, well, I was 75 when I had that first cancer, 85 when I had the second one, and I'm 87 now. So I've been seeing you for a long, long time and using your supplements.
Yeah.
And,
So I'm glad they could help with the cancer, and I think they help in other ways. But I think most people out there know that they probably should eat better and are probably taking some kind of supplements. But what they may not be aware of, because a lot more people take medication than take supplements, and a lot of people are taking a lot more medication than they are supplements. And what they may not be aware of is that a lot of medications, in fact, all medications, in some way or another, disrupt your body's ability to absorb and use nutrition the way that we were made, right? So things even as generally recognized as safe, grass generally recognized as safe, things like acetaminophen, right? The fever drug, right? Can buy it at a gas station. Nobody thinks twice about it. Generally recognized as safe. But taking it daily for prolonged periods of time can cause problems with your gut, your microbiome. We talked about that. And once again, what is microbiome? It's your friendly bacteria that live in your digestive tract. Very important to everything that goes on in your body. Well, every medication, even over the counters, challenges them in a bad way, throws them out of balance, and you've got to work at trying to get that balance back, because they are really your internal medicine cabinet. They provide your immune system. They help with digestion. They provide how you feel, because they provide more of the mood chemistry than actually your brain does. They help with inflammation. And I'm only scratching the surface. But every medication messes with them in a bad way. And I'm not saying don't take medication. I'm not crazy. People need that. But I'd like to put out there that if you take care of your body and your bacteria in your belly, you might need less and have less complications and actually feel a whole lot better. And that's why I created this line of Get Better. That's the name of the brand. It's my personal brand. When I can formulate something that is unique and valuable to my patients, I do. I work with some of the best labs in the country. And when I can't do it, when somebody is already doing it better than I am, and they'll allow me to private label it, I will. But if they won't allow me to private label it, I'll recommend my patients get that supplement instead. Mm-hmm. So even if you don't even take over-the-counter pain relievers, and a lot of people are taking them daily, which they're never designed for. But even if you don't, our water, our food, our air just ain't what it used to be.
No, it absolutely isn't.
I created, this I was most involved in the process of with any of my product line. It took me a really long time to find a superfood. And what does that mean? So you may have heard that like blueberries are a superfood. You know, some people claim that blueberry extract can cure cancer or something like that. I never do anything. That's crazy stuff.
Yes, that
but
is.
It is very potent nutrition. It is very dense. It's got a lot of really good stuff that does a lot of amazing stuff in your body, and it's very good for you. But there's 50 things like that in this one formulation, all superfood concentrates in one package that if you tried to buy separately, it would cost you nearly $1,000.
Whoa.
But this is all in one, and it's less than $100. And I know some of my competition charges 2 and 3 times that, but that's not what I'm in this for. This provides over 50 superfood concentrates without any of the common allergens, because I made sure of that. It took me 20 years to find the original formula of this, and then there were some problems with it. It had dairy protein in it. It had soy protein in it. It had wheatgrass in it. And for a lot of people who are going to be sensitive or even straight up allergic to that, that's going to be a big problem. So you don't want that stuff in your superfood formula, or at least I don't for my patients.
That's right. Or for you.
Or for me. So I talked to the lab and they reformulated for me, and this is my baby. This is
What is it now?
We call it daily detox, which means that this is your body's defense against all the stuff it has to deal with every day, and it protects you down to the DNA level. There is stuff in here that goes all the way into your cells, into your DNA to support repair and detoxification all the way from head to toe, from a system, organ, tissue, down to into the cell and actually into the chromosome itself. To support detoxification. It's kind of like eating a salad for a year in one shake. Like there's so much nutrition in one of these shakes that is designed to clean things up and support your body's ability to get rid of all the bad stuff. So pretty good.
Oh, interesting. Well, I have a friend who suffers from migraine headaches. Mm-hmm. Would any of these supplements help her? Or is that a physical?
It's both. So I the reason I became the kind of doctor that I am is because I was a migraine sufferer. And, according to everybody, migraine is a permanent neurological disease process that is incurable. And I'm on board with that. I'm not about to ruffle anybody's feathers, but I haven't had a migraine in 5 years. Prior to that, it was nearly 50 years of some of the most advanced treatments available to manage migraines, and I'd still get migraines. And I now have patients that are spending $1,000 a month out of pocket on medications, and they still have a couple migraines a week. So I understand why it's considered a permanent, incurable neurological disease. I'm not arguing that point, but I help my patients get it down to less severe, less frequent migraines. In some cases, like me, I haven't had one in 5 years without any of that trauma. And yes, part of it is nutrition. A part of it is physical, the way that I treat you and my patients. And part of it is the way that, the homework that I give my patients in order to make sure that the migraines don't keep coming back. So there's no one size fits all answer. And that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants, well, just take this pill, like Lady Gaga. I'm sorry, that's not the way it works.
Just
right?
take this one. It'll cure everything.
Yeah, well, that isn't the way it works.
No.
So, and then there's these other people that want to give you some kind of zapper, put a zapper on your arm and your migraines will go away. No, doesn't work like that either. And then there's this procedure out there where they put a zapper directly in your brain, and that's supposed to work. And I have very serious concerns about that as well. It requires nutritional support. It requires knowing how to reduce the stress that is literally choking out the blood supply to your brain. And it requires you to make some changes. Nothing more dramatic than no more involved than brushing your teeth every day. But if you're willing to do that, I have an extremely good success rate with migraines.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let her know.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Because I've had 2 in my lifetime.
That's too many.
Oh, it was unbelievably painful.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll get a headache from maybe not eating on time, but it's just tiny. I'll eat and it goes away. But I've only had 2 really, really big ones.
Yeah.
And that was many years ago, and they were so painful.
Yeah. Imagine that not going away continuously for 6 months.
That would be terrible.
That's usually the kind of patient that shows up in my practice. And within a couple of weeks, we're able to get a remarkable improvement. Most people feel dramatic relief in the first session. And by the end of the second month, the overwhelming majority of my patients have a 50% reduction in their migraines.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but moving on,
Yes.
the next secret weapon we have is anti-inflammatories.
Yes.
I've already talked about acetaminophen a couple times and how it messes with your liver and messes with your microbiome, 2 pretty important things towards your overall health. And that's something that you're taking to try to treat the symptoms of not having the proper nutrition in the first place, right? Not a very sustainable or economical or smart way to move through life. But I'm not saying that everybody should just live in pain, right? That's crazy. Nobody's going to do that.
No. That's too painful.
Exactly. So we put together some of the best natural anti-inflammatories known to science. And in fact, this formulation has been tested against prescription strength anti-inflammatories, and it won. So not only that, this does not require a black box warning. I don't know if you're aware of what that is, but it's usually not in the commercial. It's just some guy talking real fast at the end of the commercial like this about how the drug is going to kill you 17 different ways if you take it. That's a black box warning.
Oh, okay.
Every painkiller, every anti-inflammatory requires a black box warning, but this doesn't. If you were to take this whole bottle right now, you might get gassy, you might get some diarrhea, but that's it. If you did that with anything else, and I mean anything else, you do that with aspirin, you're dead. You do that with Tylenol, you're dead. You do that with ibuprofen, you're dead. Right? So this is prescription strength pain relief, but it's good for you.
Yes. I know.
So,
I take it.
Yeah. So I was hoping that we'd get through all of the basics, but I don't know that we will. How are we doing? 1 minute. So let me just do sleep, because sleep is important.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Sometimes we all need a little help with sleep. This formula provides all natural synergistic sleep nutrition for calmer nerves, relaxed muscles, restful sleep without the hangover. And that really means better energy, focus, moods, and recovery.
I absolutely agree.
Yep.
Absolutely
Yeah, it's
agree.
like magic.
It is.
No druggy hangover, no addiction, no craziness, just what you want to get to sleep. And when we get back, I'd like to talk about, how you can get my personal one-on-one attention to go over all this stuff with you, compare what you're currently doing, see if any of the medications you are currently taking are going to require some nutritional support so that your body can make the best of that situation. And we'll talk about that when we get back from the break. You're listening to the Senior Hour, KHTS, FM 98.1, AM 1220, HometownStation.com.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host and guest, Dr. Thomas Pilecki, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. And let's continue, sir.
All right. So today's show has been mostly about the supplement line that I carry in my office, and tying it into a new report just came out, a 27-page report about drug nutrient depletions. Now, what does that mean? That means that nearly every drug that you take, even over-the-counter medications, in some way interferes with the way your body tries to deal with absorbing nutrition, whether that be vitamins or minerals or amino acids or fats or carbohydrates, or the way that the helpful, beneficial bacteria that live in your belly, the way they work, the way they support your immune system, your hormones, the way you feel, the way you think, your recovery, your immune system. There's more bacteria cells in your body than human body cells. There's more DNA, bacterial DNA in your body than human human cells, human DNA. And they are critical. They're critical towards your health. They are your body's internal medicine cabinet. They produce a lot of stuff that is designed to keep you healthy. And pretty much every single medication that you take, even the stuff you can buy in a gas station, messes with them in a pretty significantly bad way. And even if you don't take any medication at all, like me, I'm kind of like evangelical about this, but even if you don't, our food, our water, our air messes with them as well, because just ain't what it used to be, right? So I have created a complete line, but so far on the show, we've gotten to what I call the essentials. Nutrition is a very personal thing, but there are some essentials that, based on what we know we're all exposed to all the time, regardless of whether you're taking medication or not, you're going to need some help with. And then if you are taking medication for anything, that just compounds the problem as far as really needing this kind of attention, this kind of support even more so. Make sense?
Yes.
So we talked about some of the products. You already know about some of them, and some of them are even new to you, because I don't force this on my patients, but I do. At one point or another, something's going to come up and say, well, I got something that could help. And this report is my excuse to bring this all to light. So I've put together a consultation where we identify the risks that you may be facing, any underlying factors, and see if we can help relieve some of the symptoms with nutrition instead of medication, or with medication. I'm not saying that nobody should take medication. I want that to be very clear.
You're talking about your supplements.
Yeah, supplements. And if you absolutely need to be on medication, hear me clearly. Some people do. I want to make sure that you are replenishing the depleted nutrients, and you get the support to clean up and repair as much as possible to rehab normal function. Most integrative functional medicine practitioners charge like $350 for a consultation. But for a limited time, my new nutrition clients can come see me, get the 27-page report so you know all the meds that you may or may not be taking and how you need to co-manage them with nutrition, and a complete records review, a current supplement critique, like see how well what you're currently doing is working, and a personalized nutrition plan with me for just $79. If you call the office, it's 661-753-9340, and ask for your personalized nutrition plan, and we'll get you in as soon as we can. Sound good?
Absolutely. Sounds fantastic.
You've been listening to the Senior Hour, KHTS, FM 98.1, AM 1220, hometownstation.com, brought to you by Comfort Keepers and Providence Holy Cross. Now go out and enhance your quality of life.